Might as well jump in now, right, Mensch?
Let's go.
Kind of a dud of a finish, right? If you're just a fan of college football, not if you're a fan of Alabama, not if you're a fan of Notre Dame. Two interesting games, and we're obviously, this is what we do every Saturday night. Thanks for joining. We get the chat already going. I checked in like a half hour ago as I was setting up everything in the room. The usual suspects are here. We got Cole Marie. It's kind of keeping the boys going. We got always trade back. We've got Evan Holly. Has Haas joined yet?
Haas is there, man.
Oh, he is. They were.
He's fired Brian Kelly this week.
Oh, and Luke Fickell. And
he might be onto something.
So we appreciate it. This has become the most fun thing we do every week. Saturday Night Live reaction show. We're breaking into the USC Notre Dame game. Notre Dame is up 10 points right now with 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, I should say. Alabama is kind of pulled away 37-20 over Tennessee. I told you I'm Mr. October, Mensch.
Here we go.
This pool that I'm in, about to go 5-1 if these scores hold up.
Really?
Yeah, and
nice.
hit my FanDuel pick of the week with I mean, who cares? Penn State plus 2.5. Feel great about that. All right.
Not me. Vanderbilt LSU turned into a track meet.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
I didn't see that coming.
We'll get to that game in a little bit. Here's the frustrating part if you're a USC fan, right? Like, I'm watching this game for 2.5, 3 quarters. And I'm like, you know what? Hats off to USC. They're actually building a program. This isn't the Caleb Williams transfer from Oklahoma running around going like crazy. This isn't the doldrums. The things feel like it's a total collapse out in LA.
Right.
This feels like a sustainable model and something that Lincoln Riley was building at Oklahoma, that had built at Oklahoma, right? He's got the young quarterback. Maeva's been awesome in this game, right? For the vast majority, had a couple young mistakes, but he's still a young quarterback. You see the talent in some of the throws, the mobility, the extending of plays. The wide receivers are developing, and they're going to keep rolling those guys in, right? Lane and Lemon have been really like nothing short of special this year. And then the defense with D'Anton Lynn, like, it's not Cushing and Matthews and Malaluga back in the day.
Right.
But it's a hell of a lot closer to that. It felt like for 2.5 quarters and it has at times this year than what we did, like the hard to watch defense the last couple of years. But they're still young. And it kind of felt like USC, this isn't a Big Ten game, but welcome to what your life is going to be half of the time from about mid-October on, playing a Big Ten heavy schedule. Because as the rain started coming in and it got a little bit cooler, and we're here in Massachusetts and stepping outside, like I see my breath now. And now you got rain coming in. You're seeing receivers drop balls. Meanwhile, Notre Dame is pounding away. This looks like a Notre Dame team. Defense is not quite up to snuff. For as many individuals as they appear to have, the defense isn't up to snuff, and the kind of the back seven pass defense, not what we expected it to be. However, big plays, big moments, and the offensive line looks like a Notre Dame offensive line. Jeremiah Love was possessed tonight.
Yeah, I mean, both him and Price, but I haven't seen a left guard get that much love on a national broadcast ever.
It's my guy Blackledge, man. He
Billy Schroff is a star all of a sudden in South Bend,
yeah.
and I'm here for it. It was.
I know you. I
love that. Yeah, I mean, it just felt like Notre Dame's ability to run the ball and then make plays, key plays on defense, have been the difference in the game.
So here we are. The situation is 34-24. There's only 1 minute and 7 seconds left. USC is approaching midfield. Another incomplete pass. I mean, let's face it. And then we got 37-20 with 3:16 left. And I see I see approximately 60-year-old women in the stands smoking cigars. It's the third Saturday in October. You know it's Tennessee, Alabama, and you know the team that's up by 17 at home. The Bryant-Denny Stadium, Nick Saban Field, is going to reek of cigar smoke. I thought that tradition started a little bit more recently than I didn't realize it was like mid-60s. The traditions down south are just,
awesome.
It's different. And we see this chat right now is just it's just exploding compared to what it was when we first came on. We appreciate it.
That's not a pick. That hit the ground.
You have to you remember you're live, Steve. You need to give context.
It looked like
Who's they?
Christian Gray. It looked like Notre Dame corner Christian Gray came up with a pick. He was fighting Jacoby Lane, the wide receiver from USC, for a 50-50 ball, and they called it an interception on the field, but it looks like it hit the ground on the replay.
So we've got the finishing touches on this Notre Dame USC game, and barring a miracle, Notre Dame's gonna win this one. Huge. Well, we're going to reset the show in just about a minute. We can get to the implications and bigger picture and talk about what stood out to us. And then we'll rip through all these big games. We had some monsters today. We had some, when we get to the AP top 12, Mensch, it's a disaster.
Good luck.
And I'm here for it. And that's what it should be. But just looking at these two games right now, complete control. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in Notre Dame. Looks like they're huddling. Are they? Oh, they're looking at the interception, the official review. Okay.
You a cigar guy?
No.
I get green, man. Like my stomach will flip.
The thing that people, what I get surprised by the most when I hear about Muench? Some people think that don't know you. I've gotten some comments. You ready?
Yep. Maybe. I don't know. Well, I'm going to find out right now.
Some people that know nothing about your history, have just tuned in, have not really watched the show, and don't know your background at all. Some people thought at first, before they got to know you watching the show or asking questions, or still are asking questions. Some people have thought you're like 5'10". That's my reaction. That's how do you look at this and think 5'10"? And then when Marissa met you the first time, she couldn't believe it. She's like, it was like meeting a celebrity. I didn't know he was 6'5". My daughter still, Alaire talks about Minchie. There's folklore. But it's funny to hear people how tall is that Muench guy?
Yeah.
He's 6'5".
There's a reason I'm always talking about offensive linemen.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny.
I was wondering where we were going to go with that. I'm a little relieved. It could have gone anywhere.
If it was weirder, I would have done it off air. Yeah, it's hard because we normally break into these games and they're nail biters.
Right. Should we just get into it a little bit?
Yeah, you know what, man? There's 187 days until the NFL draft. Why are we tiptoeing around?
Yeah.
Let's do this thing the right way. We got week 8. We've got upsets. We've got top 10 teams, 4 of them, I believe, getting knocked off. And it's about time that we reset this whole thing and we get into it. Muench, are you good?
I'm great, man.
All right, Tucker. One time now, kid. All right, as we do every week in this live reaction show, we break into games. The games kind of had just duds of endings, and that's fine. Nothing's going to change. We got Alabama up by 17 with just a couple minutes left. Notre Dame is 10 points ahead of USC and about just under a minute left. So it's time to do our show, and I'm excited for the show because a lot happened in week 8 in college football. absolute chaos. It's so chaotic that Tucker's still rolling in music.
We'll run it twice.
It's nuts, and I love it, and it's my favorite song in the world. Best and worst thing. If it's the first time you're joining us, we appreciate you joining. The chat is growing every time I look over to my left. We'll get to all of you, Cole, Marie, and we all always trade back. And Haas is back this week. Where the hell have you been, Haas? We're going to get answers tonight before we get off air. You have weddings in the fall, but you're firing everybody? Evan, Holly, and the whole gang, okay? But we always start the show off with our favorite. We call it best things we saw today. The internet wasn't that funny today. I don't know if it's a change.
Wasn't a great day for the internet.
It wasn't a great day for social media, the internet, and the funny stuff. So we're going to call it today the best and worst things that we saw today. All right, let's start number one here, Tucker. Let me pin this thing so I can actually see it. I'm not doing my job. There we go. Well, I think we'd categorize this as worst thing we've seen all day. And while I love you, Lane, and he's a
physical and mental health. He's just taking care of his physical and mental health.
We were chatting so I had someone ask me today. Marissa was like, I don't understand. Like, why would you put that up there? Like, what's wrong? She asked all these questions. I'm like, no, you don't get the trolling here. Like, he was on game day this morning, and they're at this like really nice resort, and they were messing with him because they know he does the hot yoga thing, and it's been part of his changing of his life, which has been a wonderful thing to see. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we can get to all of those things, but they're kind of needling him a little bit about you going to do your hot yoga at the spa. But meanwhile, during the week, he made a comment, something, I forget exactly, but something about
how shirts fit.
No, Kirby's smart. It was something about Kirby Smart. And he's like, well, I'm walking in the offices today. I saw him in the press conference, and clearly he's not. Something about like losing weight or something,
Right. Yeah.
And so he hasn't done that. And so he posts this today to kind of troll the whole thing. And it would be hysterical if what happened in the first 3 quarters, and certainly the first half of that game, was the end result, but it wasn't. So now the internet, stuck forever, has a picture of Lane that he posted with, it looks like maybe a mom and a daughter, or whatever it is, but he's got his shirt off. Look great, Lane. You look great. However, just not a good look today, right? But worth
I love that he leans into it. I love that he knows like what the reputation is, and he doesn't run from that stuff. I think it's great.
I lean more Lane than I do the rest of them in terms of like, we work hard, man. Everything's so serious. We all focus, but there is a human side to this. And so if I can get under someone's skin a little bit, then I did that at ESPN for 17 years.
Right.
A little, I'm
also,
here for that.
I think almost everyone knows this, but Kirby and Lane have a long-standing relationship. I mean, it's not like he was poking fun at someone he didn't really know. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna see my remote control. This is why we do the chat.
What's happening?
So I didn't realize, Evan, way to have my back, man. Evan Hawley.
We're talking about the BYU game?
No, Missouri.
Oh, what's going on there?
I thought that they had a little bit of a lead. It's tied up. So let's put that on. Let's have that in the back.
What happened in the BYU game?
17. Okay, hey, Evan, MVP so far. They say you're number 3 with the crown right now. You're number 1 in our hearts. 17-17, minute and 7 seconds left, I think it is. So let's keep an eye on this match as we're going through, even though we've reset and we're in our actual recap show. All right, so that's number 1. Tucker, what do you got next for us? Pavia. Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt quarterback. We couldn't show you, apparently. There's all sorts of restrictions and also
rules.
So we're having to be careful, and we're going to Netflix soon, and we got like the FCC is checking in on us and some of the rights and stuff. But someone had a great, you'll find it on social media. It's basically, it's this, but it's Manziel. And what's interesting is, I don't know, like I've had a couple thoughts about it. And then Johnny Manziel was on the sideline pulling for Pavia against Alabama, right?
Right.
And that was a loss. And I'm talking this year's game, not last year's. And we'll break down that whole game. He's become the most exciting player, I think we can all admit, in college football. Um, but I'm watching. There were a couple specific plays. The one where he was like rolling back to his left and through. I'm like, my gosh, this reminds me like that same feeling and the vibes when I was watching Johnny Manziel do this to LSU, to Alabama back in the day, you know? And we didn't
Yeah.
know all the, we kind of, I had stories, but like we didn't know everything else was going on in his life. And now we know, and it's a wonderful thing that he's, you know, that he's recovering and in a good mental health state. But do you not watching him get those same vibes or like that same
Not only
feeling?
like not only like within the plays, which is obvious, like when you're watching him play, but the way they carry themselves. I mean, Pavi's got some swagger to him. I mean, some swagger to him, and he's not afraid to say things. He's not I'm not afraid to say if we play our game, we're going to rout Alabama. I mean, that's a wild thing for a Vanderbilt quarterback to be saying, but he goes out there and balls every single time. Like, I mean, he just lays it on the line. So it's yeah, I mean, it's not only just the style of play, but the way they carry themselves.
And like the victory formation, practicing that pregame against Alabama was like maybe a step too far, but the psychology of it, first of all, it's just fun for college football, but more importantly, everyone in that locker room believes, you know, and
Oh yeah.
there's a value to that. So I don't know. I just watching him today, it like brought me back to the same feelings of like he ain't tall. He doesn't have a big arm. Apparently, he's fast. He's outrunning
Harold
Harold
Perkins. Yeah.
Perkins, who supposedly runs in the 4.4s. But he doesn't look the part. Like it doesn't add up, and that's part of what makes it awesome, right?
Hmm.
So there's that, and then the final thing we're going to classify this as worst.
On that last play, that last interception, were you not expecting that defender to be there? They're running that kind of sim pressure and they're popping out at the snap.
I mean, we have a perfect play for it. We had a miscommunication with the route and what we were doing. So, yeah, it was just sort of ran the route wrong, and I went to go throw it because we're hot off of a pressure, and again, he made a good play on it. So, but it definitely didn't help that we ran the wrong play.
That's Carson Beck answering a question after a devastating loss to Louisville. And we'll get to that game and dive in, but like losing at home, extra time to prepare, a team that you're more talented than, top to bottom. I literally learned, I think it was like 11, maybe 12 years old, like the value, the importance as a certainty that is not like non-negotiable. It can never and will never happen, or else you will not play that position in this town, Todd, where you ever stand up or, you know, turn your back, drag one of your own teammates, and especially with your body language, your tone, you know, like, and like certainly not your words. But I wasn't doing press conferences 12 years old. But I wasn't even allowed to like put my hands up in the air if a receiver dropped a ball or did,
Oh
you
no,
know,
no. Yeah. Can't do that.
you learn that in football like day one. You don't do it. No teammate, but the quarterback has a different level of responsibility when it comes to that. And I talked all off season. Actually, it started last season with what's going on with Beck, and there's the injury, then there's like kind of the reports, and then why wouldn't Georgia, with all the money and the resources in the world, want this guy back who at one point was considered a top 10 quarterback? And then the Ferrari stolen, and the Cavender twins, and then the breakup, and then all this stuff. And I don't bring it. Yeah, we get a little laugh because I go through that whole thing every time.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
I know, but I wouldn't say it if none of it was
No, there's something to
being
it.
brought to me by NFL scouts, and people kept asking in the offseason, why isn't, you know, you're doing Arch Manning even though you're not really calling him a prospect for 2026. you're doing Klubnik and Nussmeier and Sellers and Levitt and some underclassmen and some seniors and all these quarterbacks. Where's Beck? And I said, like, I just need to take a break from Beck because there's a lot of negativity. I want to give him a fair shake. You know, clean break and then like revisit later. And I'm not saying that this means he's a bad guy or this means he can't be an NFL quarterback or he's not going to, like, everything's not just going to be fine next week and they win out the rest of their games. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm just saying you never do it, A. B, now you got to go back in that locker room and deal with what you deserve, whatever it is he gets from that receiver, the receiver room, his coaches. You know, you've been taught you don't do that. And then on top of all of that, I'm certain somebody in the scouting community has talked to him about like maybe what the concerns are, because that's what scouts do. They kind of work as liaisons, to be honest, at times. It's not their job, but like what we're looking for. What are teams looking for? And that's not it. So that it did shock me.
Yeah, I mean,
because all the other stuff's been like private or behind the scenes.
And this is the first. This is the first bit of adversity he's had at Miami. Like the first sign of adversity, and this is what we revert to. Like right away, we're into the guys running the wrong routes.
Yeah. So
like because everything's been going well. Everything's been going well in Miami. So maybe that's why everything's going well with Carson Beck. I don't know. It's concerning.
It is. So the clock's ticking down under 10 seconds. Auburn just put a knee on it. They're going to overtime, 17-17. We'll keep an eye on that. So this is good. Plus, we've got BYU, Utah, obviously a heated rivalry between those two programs that we'll keep an eye on. But this show now is about the reaction to all the unbelievable stuff that went on today. Two things before we get into the actual games, Muench, and I'll flip-flop the order in which I wanted to. And I didn't tell you I'm going to do this. It's just been kind of. It has been weighing on me, but it's just like I want to get it off my chest, and I want to get your reaction. And I want to see what the folks in the chat have to say. I mean, Evan Hawley already got us on this Missouri game, so like the value's there. For everyone who's in the chat, we appreciate you being here, and we're gonna have fun tonight. Two things that I wanted to lead this show with. One, and the second one will bring us to the next game, but the first one is. Wouldn't it just be nice? And I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not starting a conversation of conference versus conference. I understand.
You're killing me.
I understand the logistics of scheduling and it seems to be changing, and it's 9 games, it's 10 games, it's divisions within the conference, it's all of that. But wouldn't it be nice in a utopian society if like nine weeks of the college football season, you and I and everybody else who loves this great sport got to see Ohio State play LSU, and then next week play Tennessee, and then the next week play Ole Miss, and the next week play A&M, and then the next week play Oklahoma, and then some shitty school, and then the next week play Florida, and then to have like a couple another non-conference game. And then have to play Georgia. And then the following week have a letdown game, and they get to play Vanderbilt, followed by Kentucky.
I hear you.
Some rotation of that, and throw in a South Carolina in a certain year. What do you hear what I'm saying? And so everyone's going to jump me and be like, well, the Big Ten's better, and they've got this team in the right. No, I understand. I'm not slighting one conference over the other. All I'm saying is, I'm looking, and we've done this with different programs at different times, or quarterbacks looking ahead to what's upcoming. And it's like, oh, this gauntlet Oklahoma's got. Oh my gosh, look at who Alabama's got to play. Oh my Lord, how's Texas going to get through this? Oh my, like, right?
Yeah.
And like, Texas A&M today. A&M today, right? Arkansas is 2-4, I think, coming into the game.
Got all they could handle.
And they had to score 45 to win that sucker.
Yeah, they did.
Do you know what I mean?
Arkansas wouldn't die.
I only say this. I'm actually saying this weirdly as a positive. Because that defense might historically be good. Historically good. Ohio State's defense might just be, after losing 8 stars to the NFL, historically good. Then I keep waiting for proof. I keep waiting for proof otherwise.
Yeah.
And I'm just not seeing it. This defense is outrageously good. It is by far the best defense in the country. And A&M before this week, I thought was really, really close. Miami, there's some people who thought that they were on that level. But Ohio State is at a different level. And here's what brought me to this, Steve. Don't look now, but this super talented YouTube TikTok star, all the highlights we saw, quarterback with the arm angles, the flicking, the throws, and all the stuff before he became the starter at Ohio State from like high school days. Don't look now, but he's developing into an asset. There's never a liability. It was Arch that was a liability in week one. It wasn't Julian Sayin. But Sayin was just kind of, doing his job.
The training wheels were on a little bit.
Now I'm looking up, and the receivers are starting to put up big numbers. The offense is opening up. I think he went for 300 or 290.
Carnell Tate's on a tear all of a sudden.
Absolutely. Tate and Smith had 15 for 208 and 2 touchdowns today. Julian Sayin was, listen to me, 36 of 42. And I get it, Wisconsin's defensively isn't what Wisconsin has been, but there's still like, and I know there's some injuries. Like I know all of it, but 36 of 42 can be hard to do in 7-on-7s. 393 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. And this is now stacking games. But then I had to press the brakes and say, my gosh, wouldn't it be nice if like a down week you're playing Vanderbilt or Missouri, both ranked?
Yeah.
A down week, like an easy week, you're playing Arkansas. Like ask Texas tonight, just an overtime one. Kentucky's not very good, but you don't show up. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That was the first thought. The second thought was Ty Simpson is a fucking assassin.
Dude, here we go. Can I address the first thing really quickly?
Yeah, sorry.
I don't want Ohio State in the SEC. And I'm not saying that you're saying that. I want the Big Ten to get better. I want it to get deeper. They're very top heavy. The Big Ten's very top heavy. I would like to see them get deeper. And there's no reason they can't. I don't understand why what Cignetti's doing at Indiana, like they can't get better players, be more competitive. I don't understand why that's not a thing. I don't understand why whatever program. Wisconsin, let's just pick Wisconsin because they're so down right now that they can't build an identity, get players in there, and become a better program. I just wish that it was deeper. But I will say this: you can't you can say those things about the defense, and I agree with you, and you can say those things about Julian Sayin, and I agree with you. But it's a little concerning that iron sharpens iron, and these guys are going to go into the playoff, and they're going to be. I mean, let's see where Texas ends up. They might end up with a schedule that does not have a ranked opponent on it right now. Like right now, it's only Texas at 21. You look at their entire schedule. Penn State's out of the top 25. Michigan's out of the top 25. So they could end the regular
now, but yes.
Right, whatever. They could end the regular season with their best opponent being in 20 to 25. That could happen. And that's, for them, I don't necessarily know how good that is for their team, because then you get into a playoff situation and all of a sudden, let's say you get a bye. Now you haven't played a tough schedule. Now you have a bye. Now that first week, you don't know who's going to show up. Maybe it's an SEC team like a Georgia, and all of a sudden things get real quick. And do I still think Ohio State's the best team in the country? Yeah, but it's not about the best team in the country. It's about the best team that day. So it's just, I don't know if it really helps them. I think it's a little bit concerning, to be honest with you. But yeah, all those things are true. Julian Sayin is turning into a dude. And it helps that he has those receivers, but he's still taking advantage of it. And again, I'll say this again. Brian Hartline is a first-year play caller. Things seem to be going pretty well.
Yeah.
He seems to have a good feel for what his team's good at.
So that was just a thought. And then the second thought I told you. We did the quarterbacks on Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dante Moore, Lenore Sellers, Fernando Mendoza have the 3 upsides, the ceilings. They have the physical traits that you look for, right? Different,
Yep.
varying traits and levels and all that. But they're the guys that you look at and say, like, it's what the NFL is looking for in this day and age, right?
Yep.
And Diego Pavia is the most exciting player and quarterback, certainly in college football. All those things can be true. I'm just like, I am now, like, I am past the point of no return because we're stacking games against good opponents week in and week out. I promise you, on 25 years of experience, this guy, Ty Simpson, is an absolute anomaly. He is, it's borderline not possible, the level in which he's playing the quarterback position. He is the best quarterback in college football right now, and it's not close because it's week in and it's week out, and it's controlling the line of scrimmage. It's pre-snap reads. It's checking. It's kills. It's post-snap, identifying the changes and the disguises in coverage. It's knowing where the pressures are coming from. It's the poise in the pocket, negotiating safeties with his eyes, maneuvering inside the pocket, the subtleties of the position. That have, like, there's no way in 6 starts in college football you can play the quarterback position at this level. It doesn't happen. So we're watching something that, like, is so special, man. And then I heard some things on the broadcast tonight, and McDonough is in McDonough I trust when it comes to broadcast, the stories he tells, the information he gets. Like, he brings you into those meetings. I felt like I was there with him during the week, which I was for probably 10 years of my career. Fly in on Thursday, meetings on Friday, discuss those things, put it like he's a stickler with all of it. But there's a reason, and the reason is he can. So when he starts telling a couple behind the scenes things tonight, the first one was, I knew his dad was a coach.
Right.
And you hear that about a lot of quarterbacks, like, yeah, son of a coach, all that stuff. But his dad being there and hearing the story, he's been an 18-year head coach at
Tennessee Martin.
UTM, Tennessee Martin. Jason Simpson. And his brother's there, by the way. This is a side note. It doesn't matter. Brother's there as a recruit. But it actually does matter for one thing I'll get to in a second. His brother's there as a recruit. So when you see him as 6 starts and you see the level he's playing with, and remember I said to you, he's doing the shit that I expected to see from Garrett Nussmeier this year. Except I didn't know Nussmeier was going to be behind. If I listened to Brian Kelly, he's behind a very functional, maybe a great offensive
The best
line.
offensive line ever.
Right. But he's not. And Brian was wrong. And Brian has been around a lot of great offensive linemen. He got that part right in the quote. The other part was that this is a good offensive lineman. Trust me. Wrong. Because I'm watching, it's like a triage.
What do you mean?
It's like a triage on the field and on the sideline. People didn't realize late in that game against South Carolina, he's limping and being like carried off the field. He's already dealing with an ab injury. He had with the knee tendonitis that we talked about, that was kind of news to us in the offseason. Today, every time they went to him after a completed pass or an incompletion, someone's having to drag his half-dead corpse up off the grass. But so what I expected to see from Nussmeier is not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing it from Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Baton Rouge.
First-year starter.
It's Tuscaloosa. I thought it was the second-year guy. It's the first-year guy. And so hearing, his coach, his dad was an NFL quarterback, and an NFL quarterback coach, and an NFL now an OC for the Saints. Nussmeier's dad. His dad, though, is an 18-year head coach, and 20 years, I guess he's been at the Tennessee Martin program. Makes sense. Connect the dots. Yeah. The other thing that was really interesting in the broadcast I heard, his best friend is Ryan Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan can't come out in this year's draft.
Yeah,
and his brother's a recruit.
They're doing big things.
And so maybe you want to be there for the 1-year lap over, the overlap. Just a couple things to think of. As we're saying, he's the most NFL ready quarterback in this class after 7 starts, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
but maybe he wants to come back anyway. And history told you, and we're not going to do another quarterback draft show here, but history tells you this may be year one of a 2-year stint at Alabama. And if that's the case, you're thrilled. And then the side note, and the funny part of all this was the story. I don't know if you heard the story that McDonough told. When Jeremy Bernard, who's one of my favorite under the radar players in the entire draft.
Dude, he's awesome.
I'm not going to say he's going to be the next Emeka Egbuka. I thought Emeka was going to be the next Terry McLaurin. And that's proving after, not even a half of the season, like that might be the trajectory there. I'm not saying he's going to be that, but I'm saying he's going to be the slot receiver who's underrated, who maybe doesn't have the workout numbers, goes in the league, he's ready, and he produces right away, and he does for a long time. But Bernard, he goes to in the offseason, Bernard had a decision to make. He's a Washington transfer. Last year, had a good year. Scouts I talked to were like day 2. But maybe he got to go back to school grade. Maybe he got a second round grade. I don't know what the advisory committee told him. But he's talking, and Ty goes to him and says, "Hey, let's talk. I've been thinking about this, and it's not just selfishly. You were at Washington. Remember, like Rome Odunze, your guy, he came back for a year, that final year.
Yeah.
He went from, maybe a day 2 to a first rounder. And you had a Jalen Polk and Jalen McMillan. They all benefited from the final year. So I want you to think about that before you make your final decision. We could take you from a day 2 to a first rounder." And Jeremy Bernard, if I didn't love the guy enough, quietly turns to him and looks him in the eye and says, "Yeah, but they had Michael Penix." How great is that?
That's awesome. That's awesome. By the way, we're double overtime now. That both field goals in that game.
Walk the folks through it who are going to be listening to this after the fact. Like, give us we used to call it in network television or whatever you call it, broadcast television, a scene set.
Missouri's the first one on offense for the second overtime. Now it's I'm on 3rd and 10. I don't know where you're at.
Me too.
Auburn, the crowd is going absolutely ape. Been a tough year for Auburn. This would be a huge win for them.
So just call it timeout, double overtime, 3rd and 10. Missouri's got the ball. Defense feels like it's rolling, and the crowd is going crazy. And this is a classic SEC.
Can I?
Yeah.
They called timeout, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they called timeout. I feel like, why aren't you ready to commit to Bernard? I'm ready to commit to Bernard. I feel like you're like, I'm not saying he's going to be this. And I think the more I watch him, the more I'm like, I think he's going to be really good in the NFL, man. I think he's going to be really good in the NFL. And today he was. I love the way he wins at the line of scrimmage, man. He had 4 carries today for 49 yards, I think. He was all over the field today. He was a huge part of their game plan.
I love this about you, because you're taking a page from my book, and I think I took it probably from Kuiper or somebody else. At some point, there's like this passing of the baton,
Flipping the script.
Turn it on the guy. All right, mother bleeper. Yeah, you called him first, but now I'm going to double down on you and see if you're ready.
Yeah.
See if you're ready to push your chips in. I want you to quickly. I'm not saying he's not going to be. I'm saying I'm not ready yet. Like, give me the end of the season. Let me dive into the tape more. But I want you to think about how good Terry McLaurin has been for the Washington Commanders throughout the entirety of his career, and I want you to think about how good Emeka Egbuka has been. He's an immediate star before this hamstring injury that may or may not keep him out a week or two. I'm saying he's tracking towards something like that. And the similarities are he's not going to run super fast. He's a slot receiver. He's never the star. That's the big similarity to me. Not super fast, not going to win the workouts. And it's probably why they overshadowed because just like Emeka had with star wide receivers there at Ohio State, he's got Ryan Williams there. So he's never going to be the guy. But this transition, all this talk is beautiful because it transitions us into the Alabama-Tennessee game. And it turned out to be not much of a game. But I do hope people understand that what we're seeing with Ty Simpson is absolutely special. And right now, here's where I want to go. I picked them preseason to win the national championship. Kalen DeBoer.
I know you did. You won't let me forget.
I know, but after week 1, I was like, oh man, what was wrong with me?
Right.
Now I'm looking at them and I'm saying, I think I'm almost positive Ohio State's a little bit better, but I'm not really positive anymore. And in a week where we've seen a lot of 4 teams in the top 10, I believe, and we'll get to this in a little bit, get knocked off, including Miami sitting there at number 2. There's not many kings of the hill left. It's an empty. It's
we're going to get to this at the end, though. I feel like you're spoiling.
I'm just saying. I want you, by the time we get to the AP top 25 discussion at the end, to truly think about this, because I'm watching Alabama tonight. Truly think about how many other teams in the country you believe in more than Alabama, because I'm going to tell you that list for me is so short right now. And so much of it is because of a guy who's going to be next week making his 8th collegiate start.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you on all of it, man. I am with you on all of it. And Alabama feels like there's something going on there too. Like, that's a pretty good Tennessee team, and they just never really let it get close. They just handled their business against a pretty good Tennessee team today. Like, it was just, it never felt like it was really close. The defense made enough plays to slow them down. It was just, I don't know. It feels like something's happening there right now. Jay Miller didn't have a great day, but the kid Daniel Hill came in and played well. I think the offensive line's starting to come together. Simpson's a reason to believe in that team, but it's a good team. It's not just him.
It's 1st and goal for Missouri. Hardy just got the ball. He got stopped for a 1-yard loss. I'm torn in this as someone who's obviously this is Missouri Auburn still talking double overtime. I'm torn because and I don't care. I don't have a dog in either race. Obviously I'm not rooting for anyone over anyone, but I'm just saying, like, but part of me is like, Missouri's a really good team. I think this is like, they're closer than the typical good Missouri team is. And then on the other side, I'm like, my gosh, this Auburn defense, man, every single week this group shows up and just plays its ass off. And wouldn't it be nice to get a win like this as Pavia goes diving into the end zone, touchdown. So now Missouri's up by a touchdown and Auburn has a chance to respond. They've got to go for 2. Let's not forget. Anyway. Yeah, I didn't get a sense too in this. What was the final score? Let me pull this up. The final score, now that we're here, 37-20.
Yeah.
I didn't get a sense that Tennessee was even playing that bad.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
They were throwing, that's the other thing about it. They were throwing some big punches. They came out, if you remember, they came out of the first half and it was 23-7. Tennessee broke that 45-yard run. Alabama had a 3 and out, and then Tennessee broke that long touchdown run. I think it was 45. It might have been longer. And it felt like, wow, maybe the momentum shifting. No, not really. It was like, yeah, that was a nice punch. We'll take that punch, and now we're going to punch back. You know what I mean? It felt like that they were maybe going to make a move there and then didn't. And by the way, you talk about teams of destiny and making plays in key moments. What about the pick 6 at the end of the first half?
Yes.
You just can't do it, man. You can't do it. And Aguilar tried to force that ball to the flat. I thought it was a questionable decision even to go for it. I mean, there was no time. It was shaky the whole way through. It was pretty clear they're going to have to throw the ball in that situation and to take it back with I thought he was going to get tackled too, by the way. And he threw the hezzy. Brown, the defensive back Brown, threw the hezzy on whoever was left and was able to get all the way down and score. But it's another one of those things where you look back on a season and you're like, man, that was a big play at a key moment, and it's your defense coming up with it.
I think we both agree. What I don't know is, Ty Simpson's thrown 1 interception compared to 16 touchdowns. It's just wild.
And there's not a lot that I feel like he's getting away with. Those numbers can be misleading sometimes. So you throw on the tape and you're like, oh, well, that was a drop. And I probably wouldn't advise him to do that again, but it doesn't feel like he has a lot of those, what do they call them on PFF, turnover worthy
Yeah,
plays.
yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what the number is for him. I haven't looked at it, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of those when you're watching the tape.
So it's South Carolina next week. Then schedule wise, it's LSU, Oklahoma. Then you get Eastern Illinois, and then you obviously the rivalry game of Auburn. That's what I'm saying. Like, wouldn't it be nice if Ohio State had that coming up?
I hear you.
Or had a stretch with Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee. Anyway, I just think it's attainable. I don't know the way they're playing right now. All right, let's move on. Next game. Oh, by the way, that Alabama freshman, Yanze Pierre, he had 2 sacks in the first half, and one of which was a safety. Remember, I brought him up like I didn't even know who that cat was.
Yeah,
because they've had injuries at that edge position. USC Notre Dame. I mean, offense. We touched on it before we reset and started the show. This is the Jeremiah Love that we all signed up for. And I'll be honest, I've been doing this long enough, man. Like, I've seen so many times where every single year there's a superstar or 2 or 5. And this year it's been some of the quarterbacks. Why is an Auburn offensive lineman dragging the ball down the field right now? That's it, ball game. No? Yeah. Final, double overtime. But now always something. Refs are huddling. But I've seen so many times where the star player, whether it's a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and just think about like Derek Stingley is an example. Like, it always feels like there's a few guys that are coming back for their final year, and it's like, I'm kind of in, I'm kind of out. I'm going to protect myself. And I saw that opening night against Miami for Notre Dame, and they weren't giving him the ball much, and he wasn't having a huge impact. And I was like, oh no. We did a whole show this summer on Jeremiah Love and how he's different and he's special and all the and is this going to be the guy? And now to watch him tonight, he was on a mission. He was absolutely possessed. After every run, he was getting in someone's face. It's like someone had stolen his girlfriend from USC and moved her stuff from South Bend out to LA, and she was out clubbing in the Hollywood scene. Like, he was that pissed off all night long, and I'm here for it.
You looking for his numbers?
Yes.
24 for 228 and a touchdown. He averaged 9.5 yards per carry.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, it was insane. It's insane.
Say those again.
And it's everything, right?
Say those again.
It's 24 for 228 and a touchdown. He averaged 9.5.
Oh my God. What?
I didn't know complete back.
And he had like 5 catches too, right?
5 catches for 37.
So he had like 260 total yards of offense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's not even my spotlight player this week.
Nope.
Should have rethought that.
What's really interesting to me about this game is I thought it was going to be closer. 10 points. I think the spread got up to 10.5, by the way.
And the kicker gave away four gimme points too.
So the kicker, we missed the field. The kicker missed a field goal. Notre Dame missed a field goal. They missed an extra point. So there's 4 points there. I think that CJ Carr, who I talked about, the quarterback from Notre Dame, who I talked about glowingly after watching his tape of his last 4 games, did not play well. Prest is, I think, the biggest concern for that team going forward. I also think that something's wrong with Christian Gray, the corner. He can't run. He can't run. He had a pick tonight, which was a big play for Notre Dame because it was a badly thrown ball, but he cannot run right now. He looks like a shell of the player that I've seen in the past. So that's interesting to me too. And Notre Dame still won fairly comfortably, which says to me that team's damn good, man. If they can still beat that USC team like they did tonight with all of those things, it seems to me that that's a really good Notre Dame team. And if they can get Carr to play like he does against the teams that maybe aren't ranked as high and get him not to press and make ridiculous situations in the red zone, decisions in the red zone, then they could have something. They could really have something. And Ja'Jaren Price might be the second best running back in the draft, by the way. Kickoff return for a touchdown at a huge moment in this game. Huge moment in this game. It looked like USC was turning the corner and turning the tide, and Jadarian Price takes one back to the house and quiets everyone, and just calms everyone down. It was an interesting game to me because I really thought USC was going to throw a big time punch at them, and it looked like they were going to, and Notre Dame just weathered it, just weathered the storm.
This is a huge. We also don't. Let's not forget we were here last Saturday night, and then Monday morning, and the epiphany came as we looked at the schedule. This is literally the Super Bowl, the regular season Super Bowl for Notre Dame. This was not only an elimination game. This was, if you lose, you are eliminated. Like, they're out.
Yeah.
If they win,
they can't lose again. They can't lose again.
If they win, but they're going to be favored double digits every game moving forward.
Yeah.
Truly.
Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford.
Pitt's the only one.
It's at Pitt.
With this new quarterback. Pitt's the only one that poses anything, and it's at Pitt. And it's late in the season, and we see kind of those Thanksgiving-ish time,
weird things happen.
Things happen. But like, they are tracking. This was a huge win for Notre Dame, and it was against a ripe, worthy opponent. USC came to play tonight. I am more of a believer in USC under the. I've always been a believer in Riley, Lincoln Riley. But I haven't always been a believer that it's going to necessarily work there. I'm more of a believer now than I have been since he took that job. Like, I really see the direction. So to get that kind of win, and it should have been at least 14, I don't know. It was impressive. And you get, like, if you're a Notre Dame fan, think about the way this season started, Muench.
Yeah.
0-2, injuries. Where the hell's Jeremiah Love? Why does our defense suck? Is this the right quarterback? Like, everything that's important was like up in the air. Give Marcus Freeman a lot of credit too,
Yeah, 2 years in a row now he's been able to, calm everyone down and right the ship.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the extent of it.
Yeah.
I did get it. All right, I did get a question here. And the questions are coming in fast, and I love it. Someone just asked about Gunnar Stockton for Heisman. And I lost the spot. So if you sent that in, and like, I'm not ready to go there yet. I will say this. I think there's like legitimately, I think Ty Simpson should be top of the list.
Yeah. Who do you got in New York right now?
Good question. Let me start with Ty Simpson.
Yep.
I think Jeremiah Love just put his ass inside that conversation, like right in the mix of that conversation.
100%.
And it's probably not going to slow down against those opponents.
He's got to be there. Mendoza,
absolute. Did you see what he did today? Because I don't plan on covering Indiana and Michigan State.
He barely missed. Like, yeah. I mean, it's
getting kind of weird because it doesn't mean anything for draft stock necessarily but like, it's kind of hard to complete that high a percentage of throws in some of these games. And Michigan State's not very good, but like, they field a team. They have scholarships.
Yeah.
They're better than they have been in the last couple years. He was 24 of 28 for 332, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Ridiculous.
And if it's not like last week was Surratt, this week is Cooper, and they're always combining for like 200 yards receiving. All right, so that's that. So Ty Simpson would be my one. After that, other guys invited would be. Oh, and I am a Heisman voter. So as we get closer, I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting. That's part of the contract, if you will. Ty Simpson, I would say Jeremiah Love, Mendoza. I think Pavia at this point.
Really?
Right now.
Okay.
Like, what is Vanderbilt without Pavia? I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like, I would keep him in the conversation. But I think Gunnar, he keeps this up, and if they find a way to keep winning ugly, like, yeah, we got to start talking about him a little bit. A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Disagree? Who else would you have?
I struggle with, because I think Ohio State's got to have a rep, but maybe they don't. And I would think it would be Jeremiah Smith. And then I think the fifth is.
But I don't even think
that's the one
Jeremiah Smith's having that kind of year.
40 for 505 and 7 touchdowns.
It's not
With,
that kind of year as a wide receiver.
I know, but if you look at Pavia's stats, they're not going to blow you away
Devontae Smith
either.
was the most recent wide receiver, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, but that was 2 ways. That was different.
If we're being honest, though, I think it's a 3-man race right now. I think it's the Love Mendoza Simpson race.
I agree.
I'm not sure there's 2 other serious contenders.
But it was Dante Moore was king of the hill by a long shot.
Could get back in the mix.
And he could get back in the mix too. He had another monster day today. In a game that I thought, I'm glad to see that Oregon came out and played.
Yeah.
I thought that could be.
Was there going to be a hangover?
Yeah. Texas, on the other hand, had exactly what I said. I've been fooled by this before, so I'm not going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And fool's gold, which is appropriate for that area of the country. Fool's, I guess oil. Fool's oil. So this brings me to the spotlight player of the day. There were so many, like, how do you not have Pavia, McShay? What's wrong with you? Jeremiah Love had almost 260 in total yards from scrimmage. There was something special about what Gunnar Stockton did today, man. I went from he's competitive, he's a good runner, he's making some throws, to this guy carried. He absolutely carried. I mean, I couldn't believe first of all, they're down 10 I think it was 10 in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah. They scored 17.
He completed
7 or 9 in the fourth quarter. They scored 17 unanswered in the fourth quarter.
Gunnar Stockton, who's our running quarterback, who we're going to, try to kind of supplement the pass with the extra man in the run game and all that stuff, and he'll make some throws here and there. He completed, and I know Ole Miss isn't great, but it's Ole Miss. They have players. 80% passing, 289 passing yards, 59 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And get this, Mitch. This is what turned me on him. 12 for 12 in the second half.
Yeah.
Games on the line. Our receivers are better than they were a year ago, but this isn't Alabama. This isn't Ohio State. 12 for 12, spreading it around, the tight delp into the outside guys. I don't know. There are certain games that you always look back on in players where it's like, oh, my opinion changed. Today, my opinion changed on Gunnar Stockton.
I couldn't agree more. Today was the first day that I was like, I get it. I understand why they made the move. I understand why they think they can compete for a championship with this quarterback. It was clear as day to me that this guy, this was different. This is different than any other performance that he's had. And I'll say this too, getting off on this a little bit. There's the offense coordinator from Georgia, Mike Bobo. I love it when he uses the tight ends, and I feel like he doesn't do it enough. Like last year, if you look at the Tennessee game, Georgia used their tight ends a lot. I thought that was a great game for them. And tonight, the Lawson Lucky and Oscar Delp had 9 for 85 and 3 touchdowns. And I love because that's Gunnar Stockton's game a little bit. Like, it's great when you got Colby Young, and he wasn't healthy tonight, by the way. Gunnar Stockton did most of that with Colby Young, I think, for one drive. Colby Young had the one catch for 36 yards and looked awesome, but then had to come out. And then they really started getting their tight ends involved. And when you get Stockton making plays on the move and these rollouts and play action and all of that, man, he was just lights out, did not flinch. He is in many ways mirrors Kirby in their ability not to get caught up in moments. It feels like Gunnar Stockton is the epitome of the next snap, next series mentality.
Yeah. He changed the way I think about him. He really does. And they've got something rolling. Now, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe pull up their schedule if you get a second. It'll be interesting to see, was this an Ole Miss thing? Or is this like a coming of age of Gunnar Stockton? You know, is this like something we can start to? And I'm just watching the highlights. It happens to be on the SEC network, I think it is, after that Georgia Missouri game. And it's like Del Pierre, and it's Lucky there, and it's wideouts here, and it's a back here, like just spreading the ball around. And here's the part too. Lane Kiffin was in his bag today, man. Lane Kiffin, they scored, was it the first 7 times they scored? They didn't score, they scored touchdowns. Or 6 times.
Georgia didn't get a stop until 12:49 left in the fourth quarter, I think.
I mean,
no stops.
I mean,
I think it was the first time that Kirby, as a defensive coordinator or a head coach, had not had a stop in the first half. And it went like all the way to the beginning of the fourth.
So this is like, this is an era low point for the program defensively. But the other side is, this is also like, I don't know that I've seen Lane more in his bag, and he's been in his bag going all the way back to USC back in the glory days. And then you talk about like taking Alabama to this new, you know, the millennium of in college football, and getting him out of the old, you know, previous decades with Nick and into the new. And so he's done it at a high level in different ways, the West Coast, and then the power game and the spread, and then back to the West Coast with Dart, and now this and the RPOs and the tempo. All like, he's done it in all different ways, shapes or forms. I don't know that I've ever seen him more in a play calling rhythm than I did in the first 3 quarters of this game. And you could tell when Georgia went for 2 and they didn't get it, and it was like he was celebrating because he knows we're going to keep scoring. All I need to get is
right at the end of the first half.
All I need to get is this like slender little point advantage, and like, you've got nothing to stop me. And then you saw a D2 quarterback, fourth quarter,
tightened up a little
SEC crowd, tightened up a little bit, throwing that fastball. So like, but for 3 quarters, Ole Miss outplayed them, and Lane Kiffin outcoached them.
Yeah.
But Gunnar never stopped, man. Gunnar knew it was his responsibility. He had to bail out the defense, and I don't know. It was something different that I'm not used to seeing. And even Herbie said on the broadcast, like, we've seen them behind before, right? We saw them behind Tennessee, 2 touchdowns. What was the other? Was it
Auburn?
Auburn. Yeah, Auburn, right? But this one feels different. Because it doesn't, and he didn't say this, but I was like, I agree with you in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, I agree. This does feel different. And it's because I don't know that he has the answers. Because even like the X's and O's and filling the, you know, right, this with the safety, and we'll insert here and gap, and we'll, like, and now it's, instead of like doing the hands or the chalkboard, like he's over there with the iPads, and he's coaching them in game, as well as, this is Kirby now, in game as well as any defensive coach in the country. The adjustments, because they're getting out Jimmy and Jode on that side of the ball, which I'm like, it's mind blowing to see.
Unheard of.
Like, think about just a couple of years ago, like the Philadelphia fucking Eagles are the Georgia. It's so like
the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah.
So to see him in that, but he's had answers to fix the problems. He didn't have them today. And so it had, like, handcuffed Kirby Smart is a weird place for me to be as a viewer. And someone had to step up and do this, and it was Gunnar Stockton today.
So something, if you're concerned, and you already hinted at it, they've had 2 away games. What do you think the 2 away games have been? Tennessee and Auburn. They beat Auburn by 10 and had to come back in that one, and they beat Tennessee by 3. So they've had these away games. Also, they're impossible to beat at Georgia unless you're Alabama. They're impossible to beat at home. And they only won this game by 8. There are some things here still. And again, Gunnar Stockton convinced me that he's a different dude than I thought he was after this game. But that being said, defense still a concern. They've only had 2 road games, and both of them were really tight, and both of them they looked vulnerable.
I thought today, and I want to ask more questions, but we can get it. I want you to think about this for Monday. Where are you with Ole Miss? Is this something they can/will recover from? But I don't know that we have that answer tonight. Let's really is this defense capable of getting to a level where they can win out and legitimately play in the SEC championship game? But I thought today was the first time all season as a whole, as I was watching the landscape, and maybe it's like the weather's starting to change. Maybe it's the wear and tear on the players. Maybe it's like the Big Ten is now traveling this coast, that coast, whatever it is. Today's the first day. Because if you go back and look at some of the upsets they've been at home or on the road, like if you look at like Notre Dame with the weather turning in the second half at home against a West Coast team, you felt that home field advantage. Alabama, better team than Tennessee, but you could just feel it. Like Aguilar has been through so much, but like it got overwhelming, right? We talked about a Division II quarterback elevating and playing at an awesome level this year for Ole Miss. But fourth quarter, between the hedges, you felt that. Like I felt it. I don't know if you did, but I felt it.
I did, yeah.
And so it brings me to everyone's favorite segment of the Saturday Night Reaction Show and our favorite partner. And we're excited to have them as partners, but it's time to get into the special segment of the show. It's called Home Field Advantage, brought to you by our good friends at Home Depot. The place to go to build your dream game day setup on your own home field, whether it's a tailgate, your backyard, or your living room. And like I said, if you think creating a home field advantage is an important, look no further than week 8 in college football. I just mentioned all of those games. But the one that stood out to me the most, and I'm going to ask you this question, Muench, as part of this, is Vandy becoming a place you kind of don't want to go play? Because
Are you asking me right now?
I'm just saying, and I want to get into this segment, and obviously the tie-in with Home Depot, and it's building a home and the importance of home and home field advantage. But Vandy now, and I know it's not the crowd, but there's this passion brewing that I'm feeling. I can remember watching Vandy on tape, and they'd go from show the scoreboard, and a third of the stadium would be filled.
Right.
And I feel like there's been a flash here and there over the years, but I feel like Diego Pavia has brought life to this program. And I think they have a head coach that they actually can build, is building something. And they're in a fertile recruiting hotbed in that area of the country. So it's I don't know. This thing's getting interesting in Vandy. LSU can't protect. But LSU had every opportunity to lean on as the bigger team, the faster team. What were your takeaways from this game? But I guess my first was it was Alabama last year. It's LSU this year. When is it not and I appreciate I don't think they rushed the field, right?
They didn't rush the field.
I appreciated the hell out of that. Because they've built something rush the field where it's an expectation, right?
What a statement to LSU. You're not Alabama.
Yeah, right? I love that.
I love it too, man. And it just goes to show that they've got something going. I think they were favored going into that game. There's clearly something going on there. I think they were favored against LSU, and I think they should have been. I expected. Yeah, you could say this was an upset, but based on where the teams were ranked, I don't think it was very much of an upset at all, to be honest with you. I just didn't. I think that LSU team.
Well, it wasn't. Vandy can't run the ball. Favored. Yeah.
Yeah. LSU can't run the ball. I think Nussmeier's hurt. By the way, he gutted it out today. Again, felt like he gutted it out, and then they just couldn't make enough plays when it mattered. And the defense still can't figure out how to handle a mobile quarterback. It's the same thing that's haunted them for the last 2 years continues to haunt them. Pavia was killing them with his legs. So it was not that surprising. And what's even better about that is it shows that their fans have an understanding of that. It shows that Vanderbilt fans get it, that they get that they're supposed to be better than LSU in that game. And it doesn't matter what history says. And to me, those are all, huge green flags for that program going forward.
You know who also gets it? Cole Murray. The football tie-ins to the Home Depot segments are Oscar worthy, Todd. I just see the tie-in. I'm the guy out there grinding with the pea gravel and grinding with the porch and getting heaters delivered and taking advantage of this. So let's get to the outro here, right? Those stadiums, talking about all of them from today, from Georgia to Alabama to Notre Dame to Vandy, especially. That's the one I wanted to focus on today. Like, you could tell the difference today in the home field advantage. But if you create your own home field advantage, whether you're tailgating at the stadium, watching from your backyard or your living room, the Home Depot has everything you need for a game day setup that brings the energy, from grills and smokers to top brands like Traeger, Nextgrill, or Weber, to fire pits, to and smart lifting speakers, outdoor TVs, and more. Fast free delivery. I'm telling you, I am now like completely sold on the delivery at Home Depot. Okay. Fast free delivery, over 2 million online items delivered free to your door, subject to availability. See homedepot.com for details. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. There we go. I do want to get back to the Vandy, though, real quickly.
Go, yeah.
They're not as talented. They're not as fast. I watched them in that tape getting ready for Alabama, and I told you, like, I just can't see it because I saw such a significant difference when watching the Alabama tape.
Right.
But I watch them against an LSU team. LSU, you mentioned, it's always been the Achilles heel and all that. The thing that I'm most convinced of defensively when you're facing Vandy, there's a lot of teams that force you to play with discipline in certain fashions, or like maybe like you better be sound with this thing. They test your discipline all three levels for 4 quarters. And eventually they find something, or you better just be so damn disciplined. That was the thing with Alabama that surprised me the most, because it's been just like LSU. It's been a problem of theirs. But if Vandy can find just one little crack in what you're doing, they kill you.
Yeah.
That's why I look at the schedule for Vandy. No one wants to do a Vandy show. I get it. Like, I truly do.
I'm here for it.
Good. Well, the Mensch wants to do a Vandy show. But I look at...
Do you want me to rattle them off for you?
Yes, please.
Missouri at home, at Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, at Tennessee.
They could beat
Texas. They're competitive in all those games. And look, man, confidence is a dangerous thing. There are, I think, a lot of parallels between what's happening at Georgia Tech and what's happening at Vanderbilt. And these teams both have really good head coaches. They both have gritty quarterbacks that make plays. I like Vanderbilt a little bit better in some ways, but I shouldn't even say that. I love Georgia Tech too. They both have gritty quarterbacks. They have great coaches, and they've gotten a little taste of what it's like to beat the big boys. And they now know that they can run with them. They know that they can hang. They've had enough success over the last couple of years to be a dangerous team. And you look at that schedule, and it sounds if you said this a couple of years ago or a few years ago, Vanderbilt, at Texas, there's no way. I don't know, man. Like, I think they're competitive all the way through.
I do too. And they add a problem to the SEC,
That's why the SEC is the SEC, though. And people get mad about it, but that's just the reality.
And the SEC wasn't the SEC last year. I'm here to admit it.
It wasn't.
But it's back this year. The problem is the best team in the country is in the Big Ten as of right now.
And that's again. It's again that's happening.
Mm-hmm. So I want to get to a few other games before we get to the AP Top 12 and just tear that thing up. Oh, I should mention, a lot of people have asked. I wish I wrote it down to give you credit. Including Tucker, by the way, during the day. And two things. Now, all of a sudden, everyone's talking about Clark Lee from Vandy going to Penn State. The funniest line on our go ahead. What?
Here we go.
What?
Go ahead. Sorry. Just every name is coming up now.
Of course.
Brent Key from Georgia Tech's going too. It's
and I saw Portnoy talking about the Army coach today. Like, come on, Port. What do we do? The best line, someone on our... Oh, no, it was always trade back.
Dude.
Always trade back.
Did you see what just now? Hugh Jackson?
What?
He just said Hugh Jackson to Penn State.
No, but he had the best line earlier. There was some chatter on our chat. Someone wants Brian Kelly out of LSU, which I know you're all for.
Oh, here we go.
And someone was saying, well, maybe you could ship him off to Penn State. They're looking for anybody right now. And Always Trade Back said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing. He said, I just am dying to hear Brian Kelly fake a PA, like a Western PA accent. He wants Brian Kelly to go full Yinzer.
We need the AI for that. We got to get some AI.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm not smart enough to do it.
That was awesome.
By the way, Matt Mateus coming off the top rope. He really re-listened to every podcast, McShay. Can confirm that Muench found Mendoza.
Really?
That's check
fine.
the tape. Check the tape.
I'm gonna check Matt Mateus. I hope you did, but you can't have Jeremy Bernard. And honestly, you can kind of have Mendoza. I want Tyson.
Oh, here we go. You can't fire me. I quit.
No, it's never you versus me on this stuff. It's all the other riffraff in this space.
It's never like that.
Oh my gosh. Couple other things I want to get to. Texas Tech.
Yeah. All right.
No, go ahead. Hey, speaking of I was first on, I would strongly consider Will Hammond starting after what I saw from one game. You then did the whole Kuiper double down. I'm going to move him up from 50 on my board to 9 to let everyone know that I like him more than McShay. So you pulled that bullshit. You went in on Will Hammond harder than I went in on Will Hammond, and you went in on him this past week. So how say you, Muench? Answer to yourself, because he got the start, which I just love that like deep Texas stuff. All of a sudden, Baron Morton's like emergency status he can play. It just felt kind of like we kind of want to start Hammond.
But then he wasn't in pads, I don't think. I think he was in street clothes.
It just felt like a lot of drama. But the bottom line was Hammond started this game under the strict order that their starter, Baron Morton, the veteran.
Right. It wasn't a person. Yeah. It wasn't a decision.
It wasn't a decision. It was medical.
Right.
And so Will Hammond got the start. And at one point, he was like 11 of 21 for 88 yards passing. And when I say 1 point, I mean like going in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I saw his numbers in the first half, and I watched a little bit of the first half, and I didn't think it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was a lot of short stuff, but the numbers weren't that bad. And then the third quarter was a nightmare. But I say that only statistically, because I didn't see all of his tape. This will be interesting to talk about on the Monday show, because I want to go back and watch it. I'm not sure I'm backing off of it yet. I'm just going to be 100% honest. I'm not sure I'm backing off that he's the best quarterback for them. If you look what he did at the end of this game, where he rushed for a touchdown when he was getting tackled in the backfield, where he threw an absolute dart to go ahead on a touchdown with all the pressure in the world with an undefeated team. I mean, this kid made some plays today, and I know the numbers don't look good.
I promise you this, though, Steve. And I hope the tape says that he was better than the numbers said and the result. But I promise you, when you're 6-0 and the Matador Club has rolled in around $50 million to buy this team.
Here we go.
And one quarterback takes over for one start and loses. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He's never going to start a game again if Morton's healthy this year. But he's super talented.
They did not have I'll say this about Texas Tech. Skylar Gilhoward is a defensive tackle for them who's been lights out and is out until at least the playoffs and won't be back. Okay. So before we start throwing the quarterback under the bus, maybe we worry about our defense not being able to get off the field.
Get the fuck out of here. Arizona State scored 9 points in the first half.
Arizona State had the ball for 37 minutes and 12 seconds. 37 minutes and 12 seconds. I get that they only had 9 points for that period of time. I get that, but they weren't getting off the field. I don't know. I think there's more at play here. They didn't run the ball. You still have Will Hammond as our top rusher. I'm not making excuses. I know it looks bad. We'll see. We'll see when I look at the tape. I will.
And just
But
so
I'm
you know,
not sure.
I'm not pinning this on you. I was dying for
Oh,
him to
no, no,
start
no, no,
too.
no. But if Baron Morton was the quarterback for Texas Tech, I mean, we're taking a little bit away from how good of a team Arizona State can be with Sam Levitt at quarterback. If Baron Morton starts this game, I'm not sure Texas Tech wins it. I'm not sure it was the quarterback that lost in this game.
And I know like you've got all this stuff going on in the Big Ten, you got all this stuff going on in the SEC, and I know the ACC now is kind of like, what do we do now? But it's still going to be Miami versus one of a couple teams in the ACC.
Yeah, the ACC is a
championship.
mess.
It's kind of it's probably right now it's tracking Miami, Georgia Tech if Miami doesn't have like residual effect from this last one.
Right.
And then you look at the Big 12 and it's just not a great conference. We thought Texas Tech was at that level. Doesn't mean that they're not going to be. They may run this thing and look great the rest of the way out and it's no problem. But Arizona State now with that win today, one loss in conference. Texas Tech, one loss in conference. You know?
BYU beat Utah tonight by a field goal.
They did?
So they're in it. Yeah.
I might have won my pool. Let's look at my pool real quick. And it's not on
You're
FanDuel.
ridiculous.
Let's just do it. You ready? List me the results.
Go ahead.
So I had 3 points on LSU plus 2.5 over Vanderbilt. Lost that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Georgia minus 7.5. Got it. 4 points. They won by 8. Arizona State I had plus 9.5 for 2 points. That's 6 points now. It's out of total of 28 points. Penn State plus 2.5, 7 points. Nailed it. Barely. Alabama minus 8.5. Covered that one. That's 5 points. Notre Dame minus 9.5. Stuck that one in. Should have been 14 though. And then BYU plus 3.5. So 320. I got 25 out of 28. I might have won that sucker this week.
There you go. Can we talk about the Big 12 now? Or
Yeah, but go ahead.
Because BYU's undefeated, 7-0. Cincinnati with Brendan Sorsby at quarterback is 4-0 in the conference, 6-1 overall. I mean, Houston's 3-1 in the conference, and they're 6-1 overall. It is, and there are 5 teams right now that could make a run for it. I think legitimately too.
People still are wanting to talk about the James Franklin stuff. I guess it's moved on from Franklin. It's Penn State. Yeah, it's Sells. It's Penn. They want to know who the coach is going to be. So it's interesting because Greg McElroy came out this week and said Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
I sent a text to our group on Sunday saying Pat Fitzgerald's in play. The 2 names I heard from a really good source were they're going to try Urban Meyer. Don't think it's going to happen. And then don't rule out Pat Fitzgerald. Then I had a follow-up conversation with someone who said that, like, here are some reasons why. From the finances can get started now.
Yeah.
To there's been some stuff behind the scenes. And Pat Fitzgerald was basically shipped out of Northwestern under false pretenses. Everyone owes him in the Big Ten an apology. Northwestern and the Big Ten, I think, have given some sort of apology.
That's my understanding too. It was at least Northwestern did.
So that is the name I keep hearing.
He was at he was on campus at Northwestern this weekend for a reunion. So it can't be that bad.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Right.
So just keep the Matt Rule thing. I mean, you don't. The thing I think is crazy, and I don't want to get into this tonight at all. Like at all. I've done enough on it. People understand. I even sent out a tweet, and everyone's getting mad at me. But like I told you in advance, the whole deal with James Franklin was image, messaging, great at it. And so, of course, while everyone else in the community of coaching, and he's got Nick Saban getting his back, and I get it, like this is a coaching community, but just about everyone else, when you get fired, you spend time with your family, you make sure everyone around you is taken care of, you get out of the limelight for a little bit, and you don't need to go on and explain your side. But when the obsession is, and I'm not even just talking about James Franklin. I'm saying like when people are driven by image and messaging and things like today happen. And I'm sure every mother in their living room and father in their living room was like, oh, I like this guy. And he did, but this came as a surprise. Well, people don't know that. And just go watch. If you don't trust me and my sources, and I don't want you to, I don't want to be in this lane at all. Go listen to Bruce Feldman and what he's uncovering. And I haven't talked to Bruce, but I read something. He's going down the right track. And I know, so I'm telling you to go read it. Like going behind people, I want to raise, knowing that this season might turn it to be something like
I've
this
heard
season.
that, yeah.
I know that. And
Yeah.
so, and then I have my own experiences there, and then go just Google some of the stuff that's going on in Vanderbilt and there, like in Penn State. So like, there's just a lot of stuff. So out with that. Go ahead.
I just don't understand what he's like. How is he defending himself? Like the idea that I don't know. I'm not in it. I
Not
don't know.
how.
I try to-
Not how. Not how. No. Not how. Why do you feel the urge to?
Right.
Why?
But to go out there and say things like, I was stunned that I was fired. You were stunned? You were stunned that you were fired after losing the last big game of all the big games that you lost? And you were stunned that you were fired after losing to UCLA and to Northwestern? Like, how were you stunned that you were fired? Like, you could be upset about it. Like, you could say, you could come out and be like, I really wish. Most coaches come out and say, I really wish we could have done more. Instead, he's talking about where he's going to win. Like, and maybe he did do that, but like, he's talking about getting excited to coach again and winning a national championship somewhere else. Like, what are we talking about?
And that's all great, but don't, like,
Take a breath. Take a beat.
It doesn't
Like,
need to be 6 days later.
No.
Because the people who yell the loudest and who get their message out first, there's a history there. Study the psychology of all of it.
Yeah.
And so when you get all the other information that you have, the people who have to yell the loudest and get their information out the first, go think about what I'm saying right now.
Yeah. They want the messaging. They want to take control of the messaging before someone else does.
Right. And
It's just, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but
And
moving
he did.
forward.
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
He did a lot of good stuff for Penn State. I mean, I don't want to get lost in the mix of all this.
I don't either.
He did a lot of good stuff for Penn State. That doesn't like
And
doing
it's
what you did.
actually
for Penn
not a
State doesn't
personal
ensure you
vendetta. It's not a
a
personal
lifelong
vendetta.
job.
And he has a lot of players that will die on the cross, like that they like. And he's done a lot of great things for a lot of young men, and but certain people should be in power to run these programs, and those people should be driven by not the messaging, not the image. Not it's important that I'm the only voice and that my voice gets out there first and the loudest and is the most authoritative, right?
Yeah.
Because when that's the importance isn't on the young men you're developing. I'm not saying a lot of importance wasn't put into them and that a lot of good things weren't done. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying choose your leadership. Okay. And again, I want to move past, and if we're going to talk about it for the next 2 minutes, what's done is done there. I'm just saying, I wanted to let everyone know, not surprised he's coming on game day. Go back in the history of game day and find me how many other head coaches that were fired from major programs 6 days later were sitting on that set doing an interview. Okay. Now, moving forward, Pat Fitzgerald makes a lot of sense. On one end, you'd like someone who can come in and start now. Right?
I've heard it's not going to, I talked to Craig Hubbard, who does like the ESPN top 300 about the recruiting stuff. And I guess it doesn't really have a big impact. They've lost 2 recruits, I think, but he said, Hubbard was telling me that they recruits flip all the time, but in the NIL era, it's less likely for guys to flip when coaches leave because there's money involved. So it's not
good to know.
a tremendous, like, they're not overly concerned about losing recruits because Franklin's left. And my understanding is that, they're usually a top 10 class, and they were not a top 10 class this year, that the recruiting was not, it hadn't fallen off the table or anything, but they were, went from 10 to 17 or something like that.
So that's a great point, and it's actually information I didn't know. You've got Adidas coming in next summer, apparently, and there's all sorts of stuff going on behind the scenes that I don't know or care about, but like Nike and some issues there. You got a stadium that you put, whether it's 700 million or 900 million, whatever the reports are, there's a lot of money that's gone in there. You've got fans that are now getting frustrated because the prices are really high there. But then you get the messaging coming out from the people in power there, of like, it's never been better, and McAfee's down here, and we're celebrating, and everything's good, and the fans are thrilled, and the stadium's getting better, and all this has been done, and our program's better than it's ever been, and all that stuff, right? So now the tricky part is the people who are making the decision still currently are going to make a decision based off of that sort of stuff. But can they bring in some, like, ideally, at the end of the day, this is a results business. What Penn State has been for entirely too long under Franklin's leadership has been a good program that has not played the brutally hard schedule, but has won all the games. And I give them credit. Like, it's hard to do that. Win all the games that are in front of you that you should win. Until UCLA, this was a program that won all of those, but they couldn't win the big one. So how do we maintain that level of, we're consistent, we're going to handle our business, we're a Penn State program, rich in tradition, all of that stuff. But find someone who can take you to another level. One of two things, there's one or two routes to take. One is a proven coach and leader who's won big games. That list is small in terms of availability, and it's like almost nil. Unless you're bringing in Saban, Mrs. Terry told you it's not happening. Unless you're bringing in Urban, I can check with, but I'm pretty sure that's not
feel. It doesn't feel right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually talking to Urban on Monday. Yeah. Then that group of guys who could be available now, who are proven winners at a high level, it's like you're out. Unless I'm missing somebody. Okay. So now are we going the route of, and you've heard like Marcus Freeman's name, and you've heard some people who have won big games and like can take you to another level, or and waiting until January, which is a hard thing to do with recruiting and with the NIL period. Like, that's hard.
And the transfer portal.
So the transfer portal. Sorry. So you get the portal and recruiting periods, and now we're going to bring them in January when they're fresh off of winning presumably a big game here or there to get to that late portion of the season. And we got to buy them out. So now we got a money problem and a time problem for someone like that. Or is there a Pat Fitzgerald or someone else like a Pat Fitzgerald who could be available sooner? So that's where they are. That's my information on where they are.
I get it. Here's what bothers me about that. You shouldn't be. It's not that I don't like Pat Fitzgerald. I want to be very clear about this. I think he should be a strong candidate for that job. I think what he did at Northwestern and how competitive they were with the resources that they had is notable. I'm not saying that he's a bad candidate. I don't want to hear about money. I don't want to hear about recruits. I don't want to hear about transfer portal, because this should not be a hire that makes you competitive in 2026. This should be a hire where you expect this guy to be there for the next 10 to 20 years and make you a national championship contender and be able to win those big games. And when you think about it that way, when you look at it that way, I think it should, when they interview these guys, it shouldn't matter their resume necessarily. And I know that's hard for Penn State fans to hear, and I know that's hard for the university because you want someone to come in like a Saban or a Meyer. But if you have a feeling about a guy and you bring in a coach and you look what's happened at Vanderbilt and at Georgia Tech, and I know those are alumni and all that, but if you have a feeling about a coach and you feel good about that coach, you should be pulling the trigger, because it shouldn't be about a guy like, again, I like Matt Rule. He has not won a lot of big games. I like Manny Diaz. He's not won any big games as a head coach.
No.
It shouldn't be about who's there, who you know. It shouldn't be that. It's about the guy you feel best about ushering Penn State into the next era. And you got to have some onions, right, McShay? You got to have some onions and pull the trigger on the right human being and not worry about what's going to happen in the next 2 months.
And I'm telling you,
it can't do it.
I'm telling you what. You tell me what I'm telling you.
You're going to tell me that I live in a bubble and there's
no,
more to it
no,
than
no,
that.
no, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, you're actually right.
Okay.
I would have 2 or 3 or 4 candidates just like that, Steve. Just like that. I would narrow them down. And I wouldn't give a fugak about what anyone on campus thought about what, like, anything. I want the right man to lead this program. But what did I just tell you? The leadership here has been driven on what?
Messaging.
And
is that what you're saying? And what? I don't know.
Imaging, the image,
imaging,
messaging, the what looks right,
brand, and all that.
So is that kind of leadership going to go out and get the right, not necessarily, and you know what? Maybe you talk someone special into coming here and you pay them the right money and it all works out. And hopefully for Penn State fans that are loyal and are awesome and tailgate hard and are 365 people, men and women, the women fans for Penn State are just as crazy and awesome as the guys. It is an awesome, fun community of people who, but I just hope that it matches up, because I just don't know that they have the right person that's going to ultimately make that decision, that's going to do that, unless they find someone that they can woo to come, because it is Penn State and Adidas. Maybe
that would be interesting too. I'm here to see what happens. But like, I keep getting confused about where Curt Cignetti coached before Indiana. Like, apparently he was a Hall of Fame head coach from, that's right, JMU. Like, if everyone's looking at Cignetti as the model for all of this, why aren't they looking at programs like that have won at a high level, like a Summerall from Tulane? Like, I mean, I don't understand why they're not looking at coaches like that.
Yeah, I got some really good stuff on Cignetti, like positive, really cool stuff. We shared it another date. And it was cool to see that Indiana stepped up. I said right away, like, IU, like, you're on notice.
Everything, timing is everything in life, right?
Get
man?
it done.
Timing's everything.
Yes. And that worked out well for Cignetti, but you know who it worked out even better for? The people who wrote that check.
Oh yeah.
Because every dollar they spent, they'll get back in X, times something. All right. We don't need to get to Miami. Was yesterday, 2 days ago. Now it's 12:35 a.m. I do want to say that Chris Bell, you were on him first. He's your guy. Lock him into the first round with our Jeremy Bernard, with some of these other receivers. And I got to, you know what? Subscribe to the McShay Show. I've got a whole thing in personnel notes and a few other things coming out tomorrow. So you can dive deeper into that. And Bell will be in there. And some other receivers, some other edge rushers that really stood out to me this week. But Bell is on an absolute heater, man.
Yeah.
I do find it funny that one
dude.
draft person writes, one draft person, and I don't know who did it first, but one draft person, or what do you call it, the Twitter mafia?
Yeah.
Writes, he's AJ Brown. And like, I literally saw 5 others today. AJ Brown. Like, okay, maybe it's a decent comp. Like, AJ Brown's an inch shorter than this guy's verified 2015. Same weight. You got that 226 at the combine for Brown, 227 was verified this summer. So they're the same weight. Estimated 4.45 for Bell. AJ Brown ran a 4.49. Like, that's good.
I hate when it gets
that's
like,
solid. But
I'm not saying this in this case, like it's a fine comp, but like, I hate when people start plugging numbers into a computer and don't really watch like the player's game. And I'm not saying that's happening in this situation, but it has happened in the past.
The only thing I'm talking about is like, how many times you just comment on a player and you either throw a round on him, or you talk about, I think he's going to be a good day one starter, or here's the skill set I like, or did you see this catch? Did you see this run after catch? And you just don't stick a name on him.
Yeah.
Like a comp is like not a rarity, but like not every tweet or post has a comp on it.
And then all of a sudden,
and now all of a sudden,
yeah,
I've seen AJ Brown comps on every. It's like, come on, man, let's be better. But devastating loss for Miami, and we'll get to. I'm sure we'll with the 10 tape truths coming on Monday, and we'll get to that. I do want to just get to the AP top 12. I feel like the whole show has been kind of waiting for this.
Yeah.
It's a mess, Mensch.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the half of the top 12, half of the top 10. Miami at 2, loss at home, ugly one. 4 interceptions from your quarterback. Extra time to prepare. You were outcoached and outplayed by a good Louisville team, but a team with less talent, period. Ole Miss played their asses off. It was a road game, all of that. I thought the inexperienced quarterback came late, and the defense, like both teams deserve to lose defensively in that game. But you're the number 5 team in the country, and you suffered your first L of the year, so things are going to get shuffled. Texas Tech, like that's going to knock them back. Arizona State's better than the record, got their quarterback and all that stuff. But that's a game Texas Tech. If Texas Tech was one of the real ones, and I thought that they might be, that's a game you got to win.
Yep, I agree.
And then LSU, we saw this on the writing on the wall. It's just the offensive line play is just not what it needs to be, and the defense is good, but there's some holes. So here we are, Stevie boy.
Here we go.
Ohio State clearly won.
Yep.
Can I say this? I'm going to actually say this. Alabama 2.
Dude, that's recency bias.
Because no, that's the thing. It's actually not. Alabama's a better. I think Alabama is a better team than Indiana, but I think Indiana deserves to be at number 2. I'm just saying, if you drop me in, no, if you said, Todd, you are charged with give me the best 2 teams.
Yeah, I hear you.
Regardless, I would probably say those 2 right now. But that's asinine. Forget
It does feel like that.
But,
hold on, though.
But kind of don't.
We had this discussion last week, and it felt like Ohio State, Miami, and Indiana, and then everyone else, right? And Ohio State was kind of on the higher pedestal. I feel like it's the same way, but now Alabama's replaced Miami.
The new Miami.
It feels like it's
it's
those 3 and everyone else.
So I'm getting my pen and paper out. It truly is those 3. And A&M 45 points allowed from the unit that I was actually counting on to be the stabilizing unit against Arkansas. That adds a seed of doubt that did not exist last week.
Yep.
Because Ohio State is actually incapable of giving up 35 points. Or was it 40?
Yeah, they won't. It was 42 to Arkansas.
42 points to Arkansas. I don't know that any team in the country could score 42 points on them in double overtime.
Yeah.
Have they given up 42 points all season?
I don't know. They've definitely not.
Okay. So my point is, I love what Elko's doing. I like some of the growth with Marcel Reed, the wide receivers, Craver and Concepcion have been awesome. I think their run game at times shows up a little bit better than others, but like they got it rolling this week. Elko, you know what? I'm not saying anything. If Elko got what I'm saying right now, he'd be thrilled that I'm saying it. I heard Elko give a post-game speech where he said, do you understand how good we could be if we actually played our best games, like both sides of the ball at the same time? We can be one of them. We're one of the best teams in the country, and we've yet to play our best game, and that's exciting. But we got to figure it out where we're playing the best game on both sides, and it's all coming together. And that has not happened yet for A&M.
They're my
doesn't mean it can't.
They're my favorite team to watch because I just think it's like it's a wild ride. It's like they're the John Mateer of teams. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what you're getting. Like you're going in and you're like, oh, and they haven't. it feels like they should have lost one of these. They haven't lost yet. Like they just keep. And Marcel Reed goes on these like runs where you're like, like this is kind of why you don't think they can be national champions. And then he goes on another run. You're like, is he maybe the best college quarterback of all time? Like he does these like runs where you're like, what is happening right now? And then the defense he give up 42, but the next thing you know, they're like they've got a game-ending sack, and it's just I love watching this team. I bet for Elko, it is nothing but heartburn and sleepless nights. And it's probably not that much fun for him, and I get where he's coming from. But as a fan, oh God, they're electric. They're electric, and you just don't know what's going to happen.
So I think we're agreeing on this, and I love that. That was beautifully put. Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Alabama 3, A&M 4.
Okay.
Then it gets interesting because like the other three teams, the Miami, Ole Miss, and Texas Tech all lost. And I'll be honest, like that Texas Tech is like a double L. And honestly, you know what that Texas Tech loss did? It means the Big 12, and we thought this, but definitively is only getting one team in.
No way.
It's just going to be the winner of the conference champ. It's only going to be the conference champion. And so it kind of doesn't matter where we put them. Just make sure when you do your top 12, as you're getting ready, as we get closer to the college football playoff, that one team is represented by the Big 12 because the rules say that they have to be.
Yeah.
That's where we are now after this Texas Tech loss.
The committee will put one of those teams in the top, like just to make it look good when they come out with it or whatever. I don't think there'll be a top 12 Big 12 team in the AP, though. I don't think that'll happen.
So now you've got, do we bump, like how far, I guess my point is this. Now we're at that threshold. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Does Miami, do they fall back to just 5?
No.
Does Oregon pounding Rutgers put them ahead?
Yeah. I mean, Miami, first of all of Miami's wins.
Does Georgia go ahead of Miami? Yes.
Yes.
And how high does Georgia Tech go, bro?
I know that's a really tough one for me because that comes down to what they've earned and what I think they are. I
think Oregon becomes 5.
I agree. That's where I have Oregon.
And I don't have a problem with that. And I think Georgia goes to 6.
I have Notre Dame at 6 and Georgia at 7.
I'm going Notre Dame at 7. I like that Oklahoma win today.
I do too.
Be honest.
I think they sneak back in.
Mateer was not brilliant, but he looked a little bit more like himself. And I think that defense was absolutely awesome. And it was great to watch our Mason Thomas with a sack and a half. But I think Miami would probably go 8.
Yep.
And the weird part is they beat Notre Dame, but that was a while ago. And this is Notre Dame team feels different from that one.
Yep.
But at the head-to-head, and Notre Dame has 2 losses. I'm going Miami 7.
You went Notre Dame 7, right? Oh no, you're flipping them?
I'm going Notre Dame 8. Yeah, Notre Dame's got 2 losses. They're both great losses, supposedly, but that Miami loss now is worse. And they went head-to-head, and Miami won.
Whatever.
I know, but you're a Notre Dame homer. I don't need LSU in my top 12. They're out. I don't need Tennessee in my top 12. They're out. I don't need Texas Tech in my top 12. They're out. Ole Miss is still in my top 12.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going 8. I'm going 9. So now, who are the teams I want in my top 12? We've got Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama, Texas A&M top 4. 5 is Oregon for me. 6 is Georgia for me. 7 is Miami for me. 8 is Notre Dame for me. I know that's not the exact order for you, but it's the same 8 teams, correct?
Yep.
So we have 4 teams remaining. Ole Miss is going to be one of them. Georgia Tech has got to be one of them. Great win for Georgia Tech today. I think Oklahoma should be one of them. And then if you're asking me honestly, I think Missouri's one of the best 12 teams, even though they had that's a tough spot. But is Vandy not in the top 12 after beating LSU?
It's interesting, man. And Virginia, I don't think Virginia's in the top 12, but they're knocking on the door, man. They just keep winning games.
They do. I give them a lot of credit, and we obviously,
But yeah, I
Virginia for
can't
college and all that.
I can't in good faith put them ahead of a Vanderbilt or Missouri. I think that's your 12. I'm gonna go
You
Vanderbilt.
got to put Ole Miss in still.
Yep.
I'm putting Ole Miss in 9. Georgia Tech at 10.
Yep.
So now it comes down to Oklahoma,
Oklahoma's 11.
BYU.
And then I think
Oklahoma's 11.
and
Yeah.
then Vanderbilt's 12 because I like their quarterback situation a little bit better than Missouri's.
Okay, I can live with that. And then OLI outside looking in is BYU, is Missouri, then BYU,
Yes.
and then LSU, Tennessee, Texas Tech, all that. Okay, all right, that was fun.
We figured it out. It's all set now.
We did.
Is everyone
Let's give our friends a. Why can't I hate when my chat goes.
Oh,
Did
some
everyone
people
just leave
want
the chat?
Oklahoma out.
Why can't I see my like this is great live TV.
You can't see the chat?
There we go. No. Tell me you tell me what's going on while I figure out the technology.
Got some Notre Dame love. We got what about South Florida? Do you think they're a top 12 team? No, they're not a top 12 team. Well, what's wrong with Jaden Ott? That's a good question. I don't know, man. I just don't know.
I mean, it was some injury stuff. Like we've seen a couple running backs in the country.
Am I a hypocrite?
The Tulane.
Am I a hypocrite?
Who is Tulane? Who was the Tulane running back who went?
Oh, Mekhi Hughes.
We just talked.
Yeah, now he's gonna transfer out of Oregon because those freshman running backs are so filthy.
I'm closing out of this and going back in. I'm raw dogging it, man. Raw dogging it live on our show. There we go.
A lot of people want Brian Kelly fired, huh? I guess it's just.
Oh, Jeremy Godden. Send me a DM. I'm going to give you some Cape Cod spots. You got a big, what is it? Your fiance or your anniversary, right?
Yeah, I thought that was last week. It's still not. He hasn't gone yet.
Jeremy Godden's number one. He's sending me a DM.
Dude, he earns it.
Do I follow you? What? Yeah. Well, let's make sure that happens. Joseph Rolling is ready. He's ready for the night to be over. He's exhausted. He gave the 5-star mensch.
Oh, dude.
I'll tell you when the 5 stars go out.
By the way, always trade back. I can't pronounce that guard's name. The Ohio State guard, though, is one of the few weak links on that team. 77.
Okay. Yeah, we covered it all. Dan's got to go clubbing. Did everyone get to see Dan on Thursday, or did those cowards cut that out? Did you notice?
I didn't actually go back and look at it. We got to find out.
I want everyone on this chat. Almost 1,000 deep still here. Go back to watch the whole show, please. Give us a 5-star thumbs up, all that stuff.
God damn.
Go to the very end. Go to the very end of Thursday's show. There's a little nugget, a little treat for you. Everyone wants to know, like Tucker's behind the scenes, Dan behind the scenes, Conor. Well, for some reasons, our good friends who are like the lifeblood of this entire show, Steve and I just come on and talk. They make everything else work and come up with so much of the creative and all of it. But they're all cowards.
I wouldn't say that. Also,
they don't want to come on the show.
They saw Dan. Dan was on.
Oh, they saw him.
Yeah, Dan made it.
What did you guys think of Dan? Dan was pissed because Dan wanted to have like a Hollywood entrance, right? He wanted to have a Hollywood entrance, like a nice backdrop, and like he's been working out. He's getting a little ripped up. He's a single guy out in L.A. And we just caught him. He's like down in Texas somewhere visiting a friend on like a picnic table, like with a tree behind him. And he comes on like his mom's probably mad at him. That wonderful southern woman. He comes on with a trucker's mouth. Jeremy Gunn. We saw Dan. All right.
Yeah. Let's get Tucker. Jeremy Gunn wants to see Tucker.
So Tucker's got to be next. So we're going to start lining this up. But that was like, I think it almost had to happen by accident before some of the executives are going to be like, all right, like, I don't care, as you well know. And so now that we've decided we're doing this thing, we're going to start rolling it out.
And
I'll get yelled
We
at
need
later.
to get like some merch going. Evan Hawley wants a Perrone's gourmet Italian hat. We got to get some, some show merch, some Perrone's merch.
I mean, go to the website.
Do they sell hats
now.
on the website?
Perone's Gourmet Italian.
Okay.
.com, I believe.
Yeah, actually, I think they have
Pull it up right now.
They have a black one too. I have the white one. They have a black one.
Oh, they've got like 5 different colors.
Oh, okay.
And Michael will send you a nice note. Just when you make an order, tell them that you're a friend of the show, okay? Because we're literally family. Perone's, the McShays, and now the Muench. We're all family.
And Tucker and Dan.
But we're also talking about merch for the show. And Muench has got some really good lines that we got to get in there. And it's good. Muench is going to be one of them. But we need
a 5 stars hat.
We need 5 stars. Muench, you good 5 stars. But I have very specific take. Like I don't want like that.
This could take a while because you like this stuff is important to you.
No, I like clean.
I know.
Clean. But we're gonna find the right partner with this, and we'll get that rolling. Hey, if anyone on the chat has people that they work in the industry, I've got a couple of people, but let's find the right partner in this, and let's get out some good merch.
Can we also ask for some help with the best things we saw? If you guys see things like over the week, like next Saturday, if you guys see things, send them to me and McShay. I'm at you good Muench, MUENCH. That's at McShay 13, right? Yep. Send them to us. Like if you guys see stuff, we can't use stuff that's just so everyone knows. We can't use stuff that's part of a broadcast. But anything other than that,
it's all fair game.
Anything you guys think is funny, like shoot to us.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be from Saturday. It can be best things we saw
all the week.
So stuff during the week at McShay 13. Good call, Muench. At McShay 13 and at you good Muench. MUENCH if you don't know already. And send us some stuff during the week. Funny stuff only. We're going to test the sense of humor, which I know is really good from our core group. But we want some interesting stuff, and then we'll share it and we'll give credit where credit's due. I had fun tonight, man. It was a dud ending for the 2 games, but thank goodness for it was Evan Hawley for getting us on the Missouri game. Apparently, Florida State's in a battle now.
Stanford. What's happening?
Stanford is like a So it's time.
Total chaos. Total chaos.
Muench, 5 stars. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.